Hi, my name's Alison Laredo. I'm a photographer and chronicler of life in pictures. I have many memorable moments of the Linenhall, which started off before I even lived in Castlebar. It was in the summer of 2005. I lived in London and I wanted to move because I'd lived there for a long time and it was time to go kind of more countryside-ish. So I was looking at Brighton, outside Brighton, villages there, and then I was visiting Castlebar, and then I was considering Castlebar, and one of the big attractions was, I thought, oh, an art centre, like a town with an art centre is, it's an important thing for a town to have. So it's partly because of the Linenhall that I live here. In 2000, so I would visit as a punter the Linenhall a lot, and then in 2011, I was asked to take part in Culture Night here. And Culture Night was quite small then. I think it was only a couple of years after it was first done outside of London. Dublin, see? Outside of Dublin. Leave London behind now. And I was asked to give an inspirational talk about photography, my photography, but I decided that I don't really like talking about myself, and so I asked, and I think photographs go really well with music, so I asked Tony Reedy, who's a marvellous musician, if he would come and play some songs of Mayo while I showed photographs of Mayo people on the wall with a projector in the cafe. And it was nice. It worked. And the cafe, of course, is a big part of the attraction of Castlebar and the Linenhall. Like, I've had loads of the most interesting conversations in my life in the Linenhall. Like, if you're out in town and you fancy a chat and you come in, there's always going to be somebody there interesting to talk to. Oh yeah, that was in 2012, I got an email from Marie to say, could I give her a ring, that she had a modest proposal. And so I phoned her up, actually came to see her, and she said that they'd had the idea about having photographs of performers, singers, actors, things from the Linenhall on the wall in here as a permanent exhibition. And so, yeah, I thought, I like to be part of where I live. Like, I lived in Liverpool for a long time, then I lived in London for a big chunk of my life, and then I moved to Castlebar in about 2006. And I like to be a part of a place, like involved with the people and the place. So to see my name up in lights in the Linenhall with all of these memorable moments is really, it's a great thing for me. And I thought, a long time ago, when I was young, when I first started to work in photography as a job, I was a bit worried. I loved photography, and I was a bit worried that once I started doing it for a job, that I might not like it anymore. It's a common problem, but it didn't turn out like that, and I love it probably more than ever. Like, every time I do like something like this, who wouldn't like a job like this? Go and see all kinds of interesting different things and take photographs of them. I mean, it's ideal. Lots of them are very, very memorable, and they're all behind me now, so I can't point to them. But loads, like local acts and international, national, all. One that really would stand out for me, though, was Lem Sasay, the poet, who was here I think it was about 2 years ago. It was just mesmerising listening to him sitting on the stage talking about his life as a black child in the English care system. It was very touching. It was really, it was a privilege then to get to take a photograph of him for here. But there are lots. In 2015, there was the referendum for same-sex marriage, and there was a group called Yes Equality Mayo who campaigned really hard, and as you know, it was successful, and the referendum passed and everybody was delighted. And just after the referendum, I was talking to Marie Farrell, director of the Linenhall at the time, and I just kind of said in a throwaway way, Yeah, I've got loads of pictures of this campaign in Mayo from the very beginning until now, the glorious end, and maybe an exhibition at some time. And Marie said, oh yeah. And so then I filed it away in my ideas to think about sometime when you get a minute, and kind of forgot about it. But then Marie phoned me and said, what about this exhibition then? And then again, now we're going to put a photograph in the brochure, so you have to be ready. And so then I should do this. So I thought, well, yeah, I'll have to do it now. So the people from Yes Equality helped me, and so it wasn't a coincidence that it wasn't just there was an exhibition of my photographs of Yes Equality Mayo, and it happened to be in the Linenhall. It was because of Marie in the Linenhall that it happened at all. So the exhibition was on, and it was the launch was really great, very memorable moment for me. Alice Marr opened the exhibition, and it was in the theatre, and it was really nice to sit in the dark and listen to Alice Marr saying, I am here to speak as an artist about an artist's work, which is a big endorsement for photography from a very fantastic artist and someone who I like a lot. So that was a big, memorable moment. And then a few weeks later, the exhibition was supposed to come down because its time was up, and then I got another phone call from Marie to say maybe Joe Biden, who's the Vice President of the United States, has been invited to the Linenhall to see the exhibition by Enda Kenny, who was Taoiseach at the time. And so would I leave the exhibition up? So, yeah. And so then, yeah, the Vice President of the United States, invited by the Taoiseach of Ireland, came to look at my photographs of Yes Equality Mayo in the Linenhall. Cool. And then it might get to be the President of the United States, and if he does, then it will always be that someone who was the President, who is the President of the United States, saw my pictures at the Linenhall, even though he was actually Vice President at the time. This is Tig Leonard. He's a small-scale farmer. He's a farmer, as you can see by the hat and the jumper. His jumper was made by Grania O'Reilly's mum, the artist Grania O'Reilly. See, it's a really nice, proper Mayo farmer's jumper, and a hat which he only takes off in July, and not every July, only if it gets particularly warm. And he was involved in the campaign for marriage equality, and there were photographs of him in the exhibition here in the Linenhall. So Joe Biden looked at pictures of him, which is kind of a bit, because, you know, I mean, he's an invented character. But one day during the campaign, I got a phone call from somebody phoned me up, asked if he could speak to Tig Leonard, and I thought, I said, who's this? And he said that he was a researcher from the BBC World Service. And I said, what do you want with Tig, his name is? And he said, well, we're doing a panel programme this afternoon, and we wanted people, yes equality and no equality, and we wanted people talking from cities and also some rural voices. And I said, where did you hear about Tig Leonard? And a farmer, and a small scale. And he said he saw his Facebook page. And now, I try to make Tig look big in pictures, you know, near, far away, like, you know, yeah, kind of make him look kind of life-size. But it obviously worked, because the man said that he'd looked at the Facebook page and he thought that Tig would be perfect as a rural farmer who was obviously helping with the campaign. I said, but like, he's a doll, like, you know, like he's not real, like, you know. So the man said, oh. And I thought that was, it was really funny. When I was standing on the phone, I was standing outside my back door and I was on the phone, and my head kind of went like that, like, the most listened to radio station on the planet is phoning to speak to a doll who, you know, was a character that I've invented to do things. So I said, no, unfortunately, Tig wasn't in a position to talk on the radio because he doesn't actually exist. But I got somebody from Yes Equality Mayo to go on the panel programme, and he was pleased with that, and it was good. So, well, that was funny. You know, I like a funny thing, and that's one of the very funniest.